Rafferty here on day, I think it's 73 of quarantine, not that anyone's keeping track. Around 30 million people have filed for unemployment since March due to the COVID crisis. And I would like to make that 30 million and one. Let's get rid of Mitch McConnell. How about that? Let's ditch Mitch. So I'm creating this video to entertain you while you donate to getting rid of Mitch McConnell. So we're all in quarantine. We have to cook for ourselves, and that's getting really old, right? So I'm gonna tell you the easiest thing you can make in quarantine, and it's so versatile, is caramelized onions. Seriously, you can cook them while you're sitting on the couch, all right? Like, it's the easiest thing. All you have to do is make sure that the house doesn't burn down. Pet sitting is harder, okay? And you don't need a lot. You need an onion, some olive oil, maybe some butter and salt. I like making caramelized onions because it's the perfect thing to do when all you feel like doing is cutting or crying. Onions are good for both. So take an onion, cut it in half, peel it, right? And you don't have to do anything fancy dicing. You're literally just cutting it in slices. Again, as long as you can be trusted with a knife these days, and I'm not gonna judge you if you can't, this is all you have to do. Oh, this is how I end up in the ER every time. Okay, so you've got your cut onion. I'm gonna cut that second half later, right? Go over to a pan. I know this looks like a small pan for the amount of onions we're cooking, right? That's because they're gonna shrink. So I put all my onions in there, put it on a low heat. You're gonna cook these for like 2 hours. So you gotta make sure that they don't get crispy and that they don't get brown and burnt. So you're gonna wanna keep a fair amount of oil in there. I usually cook them for about half an hour before I put a couple tablespoons of butter, maybe a little salt in there too. I don't know if the salt does anything, I just like salt. Just a little sprinkle though. You're gonna put them in there. You're gonna cover them for about 10 minutes and let them sweat and get small. Kind of let them shrink down. And then we're gonna revisit in about half an hour so you can see how they look, but they're gonna cook for about an hour and a half to 2 hours total on a very low simmer in oil and butter on a back burner. If you're vegan, don't put the butter in there, obviously. And when you have your caramelized onions at the end, you can put them on a pizza with some sausage or Gouda. You can make a French Alsatian tart, which is basically just a pizza with ham and some like creme fraiche. You can put them in a tart shell with some balsamic vinegar for a caramelized onion tart. And you can also put them on a panini, like an onion jam, which is very tasty. So we're gonna check back in a little bit to kind of show you how they cook down throughout the way. Otherwise, again, let's get rid of Mitch McConnell. Thank you so much. So welcome back to cooking our caramelized onions for when you really feel like not cooking anything. Over here, these have been cooking for about 40 minutes. I put about 2 tablespoons of butter in there. You can tell there's a fair amount of oil, but that's okay. You can drain it off later. The important thing is, again, you don't want it to dry out and get crispy. And you can see they're getting a nice little bit of brown on them, and they're kind of cooking down and getting really soft. What you really want is like a sweet, soft onion here. When you go to a restaurant, one of my pet peeves is when they tell you something is caramelized onions and you just get some like kind of grilled onion bullshit that like maybe got sauteed a little bit. These are actual caramelized onions. They're soft, they're sweet, they're almost cooked down like a jam. I'll probably cook these for about another half an hour, and I'll show you what they look like when I'm finished. But in the meantime, you can see how they're kind of supposed to look. And they're cooking up on the lowest temperature. They're cooking up fairly fast, as you can see. And they're sizzling quite a bit. So you do want to keep some oil and some butter in there. Anyway, see you in a bit. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our onions. Now, just so you know at home, these cooked a little over an hour. As you can see, they were cooking up pretty quickly before. I pulled them aside here so you can see it's very easy to drain the excess butter and oil. And look how just brown and beautiful and caramelized they are. These are gonna be good, as I said, on a pizza. They're good on a panini. They're also really excellent. My favorite thing to eat them with is on pasta with anchovies and some breadcrumbs. They're really delicious that way. yeah, so you can put them in the freezer too if you don't want to use all of them at once, and then take them out when you feel like some caramelized onions. I hope you learned a new trick. Be safe, eat well, wear a mask, and please, let's get rid of Mitch McConnell in November. Please, let's get rid of Mitch. All right, thank you. Cheers.
Let's do this.